I don't hear any sirens. There should be sirens because it's code red right now. It's very serious for the Yankees. They got dismantled again in game two. Those Blue Jays bats, you know, we know what Vlad Jr. can do. We know what kind of performance he's having, but it's the other guys that are stepping up. Darsho, Dalton Varsho, Clement, these guys are stepping up, and that's something I admire. Jason, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing good. But it's serious. It's getting very serious. We just take the first two games at home.
Yeah.
For us it was Camp Schlitter. For Blue Jays is Trey Savage.
Yeah, you're
You
savage. I
know,
didn't even know who I am.
he became a savage after game two now. So
Right. Oh, yeah.
11 strikeouts, no hits. No one, and I mean no one in this world saw that coming. He used a splitter, which was a big success for him in this game. I don't know where I would rank Vlad Jr.'s Grand Slam in Blue Jays history, but it's going to be up there in postseason history. That swing was just flat out sensational.
Well, that put the game
Um,
away. I mean,
yeah,
that was what really put them over the top. And I was like, okay, yeah, the Yankees are going to probably come back from this.
yeah. Vlad Jr., he did what he had to do in game two. Clement stepped up. Marshall stepped up with two home runs. George Springer went deep. Max Fried, he got lit up. He got lit up
Yeah,
in
no,
this
that was a
game.
surprise. That was shocking. I'm going to say it's shocking, but it was a surprise. That's for sure.
And the lineup, Yankees lineup has gone cold once again. But this was mostly about the Blue Jays hitting and the lackluster of the Yankees pitching
Right, that's
in
what it
this
was all
series.
about.
Exactly.
Right. So if you're going to sum up the both games, it's pretty much, I mean, without even going into all notes and looking at stats and stuff, the Yankees didn't pitch. You can't give up 10 runs and 13 runs, whether you're home or on the road, and expect to win any game, never mind a playoff game. And, I figured Toronto had the advantage pitching wise for the starters in game one. I figured Fried was an advantage for the Yankees in game two. It didn't pan out. So, the bullpen didn't help either. The Yankee bullpen got hit hard too. Again, they didn't use their top relievers because they didn't have to. But yeah, it's really just the starting pitching was not good, and the Yankees. You can't expect the Yankees to score 14 runs. I mean, it's getting crazy. The Yankees did score 7 runs later on in the game. After the game was probably decided. But you know, if you want to go, you gotta go into game three. And I know this is it's been talked about already because the game's not even 24 hours old, but it's been talked about. The Yankees have to go home. Rondon has to pitch. Yankees should get a lead early and hold the lead, and hope that the Blue Jays bats aren't hot like they've been, and that'll be at least you get one game and then you take it from there. That's what the Yankees mentality has to be.
Yes, they're gonna have to set the tone early on in game three. And because the Blue Jays, from what it seems that like their lineup just got hot at the right time, and that's pretty scary. For
Right.
any opponent in the postseason. Um, but it's gonna have to take a collective team effort in order for them to win game three. So, but wow, I mean, it almost makes me laugh to see how just dominant this offense was. Even though I knew how good this Blue Jays lineup is,
Right.
I just find it hilarious that even though I picked the Yankees to win it in five, but
Yeah.
I
Well, it's
never, but I, but I never went on disrespect mode, like a lot of people saying that the Blue Jays basically have no chance against the Yankees. So I'm like, do your homework, and then
right. Are
we'll
those
see. So
are those Yankee fans that's in it? If you're gonna get objective baseball fans who watch baseball and don't have like a real rooting interest in it, that's not that the Toronto has a good team. The Yankees have a big offensive team too when they hit, but they go through and they even in the season, which we've seen, they sometimes the Yankees don't hit. But this is a best of five series, so you don't have, the Yankees' backs are against the wall. If they lose, they're out. It's not like it's a 7 game series where, if the Yankees win the next 2 games, okay, it'll be fine. It'll be even up. Then it's best of three or whatever, however it works. But that's not the case. Toronto is a pretty good hitting team, and they're showing it.
The Yankees are gonna have to do what they did in the 2017 division series against the Indians. They lost games 1 and 2 on the road, and then they won games 3 and 4 at home, and
I
then
don't
game
know.
5 on the road.
Right.
They're gonna have to do it that way. The only difference is that for game 3, they're gonna have to put up runs. They're gonna have to. So, but we'll see. They play on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, because they have the day off.
Right.
So let's
It'll
see
be
what happens there.
Rondon versus Bieber for the pitching matchup. That'll be Rondon has to give the Yankees, what they need. Keep those get those Toronto Blue Jays bats, not to get all these hits and runs. I mean, and we always say too, and I know other people say this. It's lots of times it's the team that gets hot in the playoffs, and that's what you're seeing potentially right now from Toronto, the way they're hitting the baseball, and the Dodgers too in the National League. But in this particular series, maybe the Yankees could switch that. Maybe they hit in games 3 and 4 and they win. And for the Yankee fans, hopefully that's what will happen.
The guy that I'm looking at that has to hit in this series from the Yankees lineup in game 3, starting game 3, is Ben Rice. He's gonna have to hit. I don't care with the like experience, he has to hit game 3. We know what Judge, Stanton, those guys have to step up. But I'm looking at the other guys. The other guys are Ben Rice. Ben Rice has to show up. Um, and I also need Anthony Volpe to continue doing what he's doing. You know, keep doing what he's
Yes.
doing. So, but you know how the Yankees are. They rely so much on the long ball. But if you can somehow, some way, just keep the lines going, then that'll be great. But because of the Yankee Stadium, they're gonna try to go for the long ball.
Yeah, right. And they were inconsistent, somewhat hitting in the clutch the last several seasons in the playoffs. That's part of the, what the Yankee fans are upset about. Like, they get into these playoff games and they're not hitting. Even last year when they had Soto on the team, against the Dodgers in the World. I mean, they did make it to the World Series against the Dodgers, who were a whole other team. They have a big offensive team too. There were times where the Yankees' offense didn't come through in some of those games, and it ultimately resulted in the Dodgers winning the World Series.
So Giants, Saints, week
Oh,
5. This was a game that I felt the Giants should have gone for their second win, especially
oh, sure.
given the fact that they were playing the first half. But like as I told you yesterday when we texted each other,
Right, right.
I feel that that big play that the Saints made, which made it 14-10, and which was less than 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. I
Right.
felt that's when they slowly momentum shifted from one side to another. And clearly, Jason, you're not gonna win a game when you have 5 turnovers.
No, absolutely not. You're not going to win preseason. You're not going to win any type of game. I mean, that's any team. Even if the Giants were one of the top teams, if you turn the ball over 5 times, you're probably going to lose. You're only going to win like 5% of the time, if it even is that high, if whatever this crazy stat is. But you're probably not going to win. And yeah, like you said, it seemed like the Giants were okay in the first quarter, and the second quarter came, and it seemed like they pulled the rug out from underneath the Giants' offense and defense. And a team that's not that great, the Saints put on, got themselves to lead, and the Giants never scored again. I mean, it was crazy to me. Um, I know that they were saying during the game, and what I've noticed is that the Saints were using cover 2/Tampa, which basically means 2 deep safeties, and the linebackers, 2 of them drop back into coverage, more zone coverage, and the Giants couldn't figure out how to beat that after the second quarter. I mean, you got to be able to throw the ball into the seams and into the flats, and they just weren't able to do it. You know, the Giants don't have a great wide receiving core, even with Neighbors. I mean, Neighbors, him being out for the year, not good. The Giants need Neighbors and another top wide receiver, in my opinion, and a tight end who can catch the ball consistently on offense going on into the future if they're going to be a good team. And the last thing I'm going to say is the Giants supposedly have this big pass rush, right? They have four top guys: uh, Carter, Burns, Thibodeau. Oh, I mean, what the hell is the name of this? You know, the other guys that they have. Um, none of them, none of them had a sack yesterday. I mean, they couldn't get pressure, and when they did, they didn't get the sack. I mean, you got to get some sacks against a team like the Saints in those third and longs. You have to. So that's a big disappointment in my opinion. So, and there you have another Giants loss. So all the good stuff that they did last week in the win against the Chargers was right back to being bad, and they don't even have time because Thursday they play the Eagles at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, and that's not going to be a good look. I don't think. I think the Eagles coming off a loss yesterday, and I think the Giants are going to get blown out.
Short weeks are very tough on any football teams. When you go from
Right.
Sunday to Thursday, um, is not obviously is not gonna be pretty because
Mm.
Philadelphia, I mean, I'm not shocked that Philadelphia lost to the Broncos because I had them kind of like sort of a upset alert, even though I picked Philly to win that game. The Broncos, they do have a good defense, and Philadelphia, there's some vulnerability there, especially on offense. You're hearing stuff about Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, mostly AJ Brown, not being happy there. So,
Because
but
he's not getting the ball enough, right? Is that what it is?
something like that. But you know how it is. The majority of wide receivers, they're divas, so it's like that in football. But as for the Giants, all I can say is you have to figure out who's the next man up. So you don't have neighbors, okay, fine. But you need to rely on Cam Scattergood. You need to rely on, I believe it's the tight end Theo Johnston, I believe it
Right. They
was,
have
which he made some
Johnson and
catches. You're gonna have to use him more often. And he had a solid performance yesterday against the Saints. So you
well,
gotta use those guys.
right in the first quarter he did. After that, it seemed like the Saints figured that out. That's what I was getting at too. Like it seemed like whatever the Giants did offensively, they were like, okay, we're going to do this and this, play this cover two Tampa two, which basically is challenge you to throw the ball in the flaps or the seams or run the ball, or you have to throw the ball over the safeties, which you need wide receivers who can have speed to do that. And it didn't. Whatever the Giants came up with didn't work. That's for sure. Not on offense anyway.
Well, next up is against the Eagles
Yep.
probably on Wednesday or Thursday morning. We'll do a preview of that game, see who will be active, who will be inactive. So that should be interesting. Thursday night on Prime Video, that game. But clearly Philadelphia is going to come into this game very pissed off, and they're going to try to
Right.
take their anger on the Giants.
You know, unless the Giants play some type of big, like maybe a big defensive game, a close game, and they could somehow steal the game at the end. But it doesn't look good on paper, the matchup. That, you know, that's, I guess that's obvious. But the only way the Giants are going to win is if they, you know, force some turnovers, going to get in the red zone, score touchdowns, and then maybe they can hold off the Eagles and they could steal an upset win. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure.